Cooking with Kenny. So, if you've been here the whole year, it's 2020. We've been in quarantine. It's the age of coronavirus. But one of the most popular foods of the coronavirus is homemade bread. Why? Well, out west in California, they saw, well, we can't go to the store and buy it. So they decided, let's make it. And bread has become one of the most popular foods this year in 2020. But you may ask, well, how do I make bread, Kenny? So I'm going to show you how to make bread from this recipe from this website called food.com, because I couldn't figure out my own recipe. Because baking is more precise than cooking. So first you need 5 cups all-purpose white flour. This is white flour. And then you need yeast. These are yeast packets. They cost 88 cents at Rulers or Kroger's. I don't know how much they cost at Walmart, but this is what makes bread fluffy. Then we need sugar, salt, which I almost forgot, you need 2 cups warm water, which is there. We don't need baking soda today.
No.
Buy baking soda. And you need cooking oil. Okay, now that's what you're going to need. But how do you actually make it? So first you're going to put 4 cups of the flour, the yeast, the sugar, and the salt into a large blue mixing bowl. Observe.
Should you preheat the oven?
Oh yes, the oven. The oven needs preheated for 4. Well, wait, why are we preheating the oven? It has to raise.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You don't preheat the oven first because you have to let the yeast rise.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's flat, fluffy. It's unleavened. We're not making communion bread. We're making leavened bread. Okay, so
My bad.
I'm going to take this. That's 3 cups. And
1 more to go.
1 more cup. Now this is a very flour-heavy recipe. Very flour-heavy. And all bread is flour-heavy. Why? I don't know. Now we'll need the flour later, so I'm just going to put it to the side. And then we're going to add in the yeast. This is yeast. Now don't let the packet fall in. We're not that bad. Now, ironically, and this is real ironic, bread has gluten in it, but yeast has no gluten.
Huh.
Tell me how ironic that is.
That is.
It is very
So it took 2 packets?
Yeah, it says 14. Well, I forget what it says, but it basically translates down. If you translate it, because these are in metric and this is in standard.
Yeah.
But put it in metric, it's 2 7-gram packets.
Oh.
So here we have, this is the main component of it, but
So you got your flour, your yeast. How about salt?
sugar actually next.
Oh, okay.
And how much sugar do you need? Well, that's what we're going to find out. You need 2 teaspoons. The teaspoon is the small one. 2 teaspoons of sugar. That's a teaspoon of sugar. That's a teaspoon of sugar. Okay, so then you have your sugar and salt. How much salt do you want? You want 1 teaspoon of salt. Now what I do for my salt is I just normally take the salt shaker and open it up. What's our time?
We're at 4:57.
We got time. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is you're going to add your hot water, 2 cups of hot water. It's warm water. Because if the water is too hot, you kill the yeast. If the water is too cold, the yeast doesn't get activated.
That's right.
And then, if your yeast doesn't get activated, you have no bread. Bread no rises. Okay, and then you're going to add oil. Now, after you add the oil, this is going to be super sticky. But how much oil do you add? You add 1/4 of a cup. So, for these purposes, this is a 1/2 cup.
But we'll just go half of that. That'd make a 1/4.
And then you're going to add that. It's going to be real sticky. A whisk does not work in this situation. Why? It's so sticky, a whisk won't work. So what I recommend you using is a fork. That way it doesn't stick so bad. Now, is pizza crust the same? Kind of. Pretty much. Actually, this recipe would be a great rising pizza crust, like New York or Chicago deep dish style. Or, for a better explanation, for those of you who have not been to New York or Chicago or wherever they serve deep dish, the pan pizzas at Pizza Hut.
Oh man, those are good.
Now, I'm not going to touch this, but believe me, this is sticky. Okay, so now how do you get the stickiness out of it? That's where the flour comes back in. We're going to add the flour in increments.
But we already added the flour.
No, we add another cup.
Oh.
And you level it off in your bag. So then, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to shove this flour aside. I'm going to add some, and then I'm going to mix it in. It's going to lose its stickiness this way. You stir more flour in, hoping it'll lose its stickiness. Add a little more in. Get it all incorporated. And slowly it'll start to lose its stickiness, but it will never lose its stickiness completely. That's just the nature of it.
You're at 8 minutes.
How many minutes?
8:05.
8:05, good. While we're doing this, bread is believed to be one of the oldest foods known to man. Well, some believe the Egyptians baked it, and if you read the Bible, they talk about it in that. If you believe in that, they talk about it in there. But it is an old food. It is versatile. It lasts. Now, unleavened bread will last longer. Much longer. But
it's easier to travel with.
Where this does not last.
The yeast.
The yeast. And another fun fact. Yeast is a living organism. People think, well, you're eating a living... Yeah, you're eating a living organism. Yeast is a bacteria. And yeast is yeast cultures, which is biology terms, it grows in flour. It grows in flour.
That's what makes it rise?
Uh-huh. And another fun fact. The longer it sits, the more it rises.
Yeah, the bigger it'll get.
And the bigger it gets, the more bread you got.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many minutes do we have?
We're at 9:34.
So, this is...
Show me that bowl.
This is the finished dough.
All right.
Now what are we going to do with this dough, you may ask? Well, we're
tell
going to right. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take... First, actually, we've got to knead it for a little bit. And this is kneading. It creates gluten, which creates height, and which creates volume.
with your hands.
I knead with a fork.
Okay. Whatever works.
This bread dough's so sticky you had to knead with a...
10:22.
10:22, got it. Okay, so this is pretty well kneaded. It looks like what it should look like. Stir it out.
Show me the bowl.
This is what it looks like finally.
Okay.
Now we're gonna take our trusty. We're gonna put it in there. Well, that's not supposed to happen, but you get the point. I'm gonna take this nifty towel. I'm gonna cover it, and then I'm going to put it on the stove. I'm not going to turn the light on because it needs to kind of be in one place. And what's the time on this video?
We're at 11:07.
Okay, due to the length of this video, this is going to be split into two parts. This is part 1. In part 2, I will show you how we put it in a pan, how we let it rise more, and how we bake it, and I'll do my final taste reveal on how it actually tastes. So that's all for this video. Remember to like, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for all of our notifications so you don't miss a Cooking with Kenny episode. And we will see you in part 2, where the conclusion of how to make bread.
Bye.
Bye.